Welcome to Aberdeenshire's dramatic Dunnotter Castle with stunning architecture.
So this was the blacksmith.
History, more features than your average castle ruin, and the most spectacular scenery, especially at sunset.
Hey y'all, it's me.
Steve.
We are at Dunnotter Castle, which I've been wanting to see forever. My lips are numb because the wind is so cold. It's sunny. It was sunny. There we go. Clouds are starting to move in. But it was a beautiful day. But my lips are numb because the wind is cold.
Very windy.
And there are how many steps?
200 and a lot.
A lot of steps. It is not for anyone who has mobility issues, wheelchair users, things like that, because the steps just getting here have worn me out. And then if you look around us, steps and upwards. So here we go. We'll show you everything to see. And I probably won't talk much because my lips can't feel each other anymore.
Okay.
Hopefully it will warm up just a touch.
Dramatic is the perfect word for the setting of Dunnotter Castle. It is on a rocky outcrop looking over the North Sea. It's believed this castle rock was first occupied as early as the 5th century by a church associated with St. Ninian. It was a fortified defense, but you can also see that it was a home. There are fireplaces, beautiful views from the windows, and it was more than a home. This was a community, must have been, because there's lodging, there's stables, there's a smithy to take care of the horses. There is so much to see here. It is not just a castle ruin. So there are a lot of steps down into the castle, which means a lot of steps back up. So many so that somebody put a bench here. Very nice of them. But look at the views. Oh, there's Steve way down there. He looks tiny. And they're talking about the thing Steve's filming, I guess. That's the War Memorial. Behnolm's lodging has defenses in the lower floors guarding the castle's main entrance. The upper floors would have been a comfortable dwelling. It now houses a small exhibition about the castle's history, a scale model of the castle, and information about the honours of Scotland. The Lion's Den did actually house a lion for a short time.
This is the Honours of Scotland, or Scotland's Crown Jewels. And there's quite a bit of history about how the jewels were stored here at Dunnotter and saved from being destroyed by Oliver Cromwell. It's a bit dark, so I don't think you'll be able to see it. And that's an assortment of musket balls. So Dunnotter Castle. Online I found a castle trail here in Aberdeenshire, and Dunnotter Castle is the first stop. So you know I have to do the whole trail at some point. Most castles don't open until spring. There's a reason for that. Burr. So eventually we'll get to all of them. Now, I didn't realize there were so many castles in Aberdeenshire. But I did some research. As you know, I love my research. Originally, they think there was an ancient fortress built by the Picts, and is believed to be an early Christian site founded by Saint Ninian in the 5th century. So we're going back pretty far. It's been invaded by Vikings, burned to the ground several times. Famous visitors include William Wallace, which we just saw a thing about William Wallace and how he possibly got into the castle, Mary Queen of Scots, and the future King Charles II. It is most famous for what we saw down the way, protecting Scotland's crown jewels. And that's not a euphemism. I had to say that for my dad.
The keep, a fortified tower house, which in this case is an L shape, was commissioned in the 1390s. It contained a grand hall, which was the main room on the first floor, a kitchen, a prison cell, a master bedroom and other chambers, and would have had guards patrolling at the top.
So the oldest remaining building on the site is this one, the keep. It is the late 14th century, and this room is the Great Hall, used as a dining room, a ceremonial hall for conducting court business. And the views. What a perfect place for a castle. It must be hard, unless you're a Viking, to sack it. It was sacked by the Vikings a couple times, but wow. And this is the outside of the keep that we were just in. This is the storehouse.
Waterton's lodging was built for Thomas Forbes, Laird of Waterton, who possibly stayed here. The style of the house suggests it was built around 1570 to 80. Now we are walking towards the Quadrangle, which has 3 ranges of residential buildings, and they were created during the later stages of the castle's life. It also holds the cistern, which was a water supply that collected rainwater. The first part of the expansion would have been the West Range and the Silver House. It was probably built around the 1580s. The Silver House is probably called that because it contained a strong room for valuables. It may have even been used to store the honours of Scotland. It held the staircase connecting the 2 stories of the West Range. The East Range held the bedrooms and private chambers for the Earl and his Countess. Since this was the castle's most comfortable accommodation, Charles II most probably slept in these chambers. Some of the finest public rooms of the Quadrangle were housed in the North Range. The drawing room has now been restored to show what it would have looked like with a gorgeous wooden ceiling. The chapel was completed in its present form in the 1500s, but the original church was consecrated in 1276. The small windows, with their pointed Gothic arches, survives from the 1276 church. The green space beside the chapel was the cemetery.
Consecrated in 1276 and apparently burned with an English garrison inside by William Wallace in 1297. It was rebuilt and 2 Gothic windows of this original chapel survive to this day. Wow. And that's what it would have looked like years ago. So this is the restored drawing room, and I love the ceiling. So this outer room is the reception area of a suite that was the Earl's bedroom, and King Charles II slept in that room So it must have been the nicest in the castle. I almost said house. It's a castle. So we'll have a look for this when we're in there. And there's the triangle they were talking about. And it is dated 1645 maybe? It's hard to see. And it's right over the fireplace. And this is a sundial, which we're guessing it's been moved. I've never seen a sundial on a wall. I'm not sure what good that would do you. And if you want a bedroom with views, although the clouds are coming over, so our sun... Oh look, there's a rainbow. Talk about a bedroom with views. The fireplace would have been so snugly warm. Below the suites, there's the Whigs Vault, which originally would have been for storage. In 1685, the space was used to hold political prisoners. 167 prisoners were confined in this small vault from the 24th of May until the end of July, with minimal food, water, privacy, and sanitation. In the East Range, beneath the Countess Suite, 2 essential products were made in the kitchen: bread and ale. The water from the cistern was used to make weak ale, which was more drinkable than any water. This is the cellars. And it's a lot darker in there than it looks with the phone. This phone is amazing in the dark. The West Range appears to be built for visitor accommodation and servants' quarters. Each chamber has a door, 2 windows, and a fireplace. They are virtually identical. Above the 7 chambers was the gallery, a long, narrow room with large fireplaces and tall windows. It could have been used for music, dancing, displaying of artwork.
So I'm guessing this is some of the original plastering that they're talking about. It looks like they all had a fireplace, which you would desperately need in the winter. And some more of the plastering. This is the lookout post. And you can see why. You can see everything. Isn't that gorgeous? You can see ships coming from miles away. So we think the sign refers to this big green area. So instead of just a castle, this place is like a little community. It had a building built for the 4th Earl. Well, by the 4th Earl for his son and daughter-in-law. And it's no small place he built them. Wow. It's absolutely beautiful. So this would be the stables. And the grooms and stable boys lived above in a dormitory. I'm guessing the horses were more comfortable. Just a guess. Oh, that was a bigger step than I expected. So this was the blacksmith. Makes sense he'd be close to the horses. Or she, but I think they were all he back then, weren't they? So that was Dunnotter Castle. Absolutely stunning. My lips are still numb.
Yeah, cool.
I can't really feel my face, but wow. Absolutely stunning. Highly recommended. But there's a lot of steps, and we now have to go back up all the steps.
Yeah.
And on a cold, windy day, I could just picture those sitting in front of the fireplace. Oh, it'd be gorgeous. Just looking out the North Sea, thinking, at least I'm not in the wind. Thank you all so much for watching. There are toilets on site. Oh, sorry, I almost lost you. There are toilets on site. There also is a place to get some food, and we'll pass it as we leave. I'll show it to you then. And I highly recommend it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, we're coming to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrap up.
Yeah.
It will always be cold here.
For ruins, there's a lot left.
Yeah.
I've been to ruins where there's just some rocks and not much else, but no, for ruins you can see like what
it would have looked like, and you really get a feel for it. So this is the exit. You're wondering why we're standing in a hole. And then we have a ton of steps to go up. Okay, wish me luck. Thank you all so much for watching. I need to go warm up my face so my lips can actually meet and make sense.